With me now is Eric Ham, CTV News U.S. political analyst. Eric, good to have you with us today.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
What do you make of Trump's move to send in the National Guard for these protests?
Certainly a lightning rod. And of course, the president stated that this was a form of rebellion. And so I think what we saw from the president was this policy of unleashing the National Guard, very much like what we saw during his first term in office when the National Guard was, again, sent into the nation's capital during the unrest that we saw in the wake of the George Floyd demonstrations. And so we're seeing that now play out in Los Angeles. And to be clear, this was a very small part of downtown LA where these protests were taking place. And again, I think what you're seeing now are many Americans frustrated with the president's aggressive policies on deportations, and with the president also constantly being overturned in his deportation fight with the courts. I think you're now beginning to see many people push back on what the president is doing. And this will continue to play out, particularly in many of the cities, blue cities, where a lot of this is actually happening.
The very fact that Trump would deploy the National Guard here, how significant is that?
Yeah, I mean, the Los Angeles Police Department is one of the most robust and biggest police departments in the country. Certainly, they could have handled this. Moreover, typically, governors do control a National Guard. And so it would be, and considering this was something that was taking place in Los Angeles, in the state of California, and with the governor and the mayor, and of course, the LAPD right there, this should have been something that they should have been able to handle. But again, I think what we're seeing here is the president not only doubling down on these policies and the fallout as a result, but also making clear and speaking directly to his MAGA base that this is actually going to continue, and the president will continue to maintain this hard line on immigration, even if it leads to protests and demonstrations throughout the country.
Now, these protests were sparked by an immigration crackdown and immigration raids in L.A. What do you make of the timing of that?
Yeah, and also it's important to know where this took place. Again, a lot of what we're seeing in terms of these raids, these aggressive deportations are in blue states, are in blue cities. And again, I think what you're seeing, even with the president lashing out at the governor and the mayor, it's clear that the president wants a fight, not necessarily a policy that is going to actually be beneficial to the larger community, but the president continues to play in this us versus them sandbox. And I think what we're seeing as a result of it is it's creating more polarization, and I think it's hardening the lines, particularly when you look at issues like immigration, which there are so many challenges, particularly pathway to citizenship for so many people, dreamers who have been here for so long. And what we're seeing right now is policies that are not actually shaping or moving the issue. It's only creating more problems.
All right, great chatting with you, Eric. Thanks for being here. That is Eric Ham, CTV News U.S. political analyst.